I'm Ray Derrigan of Forever Locked, and I'm going to tell you the story the day I found the moose. On October 9th, 2003, I was in the Guyote State Forest, and multitasking I called it. I was looking for wild mushrooms. I have some daughters that hunt, and I was looking for whitetail sign for the winter hunt. And walking by some old homesteads, I like to look around those at the same time. And on this particular day, as I was walking past the first homestead that I was going to, there were some crows that were making a lot of noise, maybe 15 or 20 crows, probably 100 yards to 200 yards away. And of course, I just thought, well, they just bothering a few things out there. Might be an owl or something else that they were upset about. I continued by there, and on a day that was fairly calm, I got a whiff of something. And because I like to hunt for mushrooms that time of year, I happened to look down on the ground, and it was a rotten mushroom. So I attributed the smell to the mushrooms. I proceeded to walk probably another 3/4 of a mile to an old homestead, and just walked around the homestead and just trying to figure out how they lived back then. And I probably spent 3 to 4 hours there. And when I returned back to the first homestead, the crows were still cawing and making all kinds of a racket. And at that time, I said, well, I think I'll take a walk. And I took a walk towards the crows. And as I got closer to where the crows were, there was a stone wall. And as I got closer to the stone wall, I saw an antler sticking above the stone wall. I said, oh, a dead moose. And when I got to the wall and stepped up on the wall, I looked down and was amazed to see that it was 2 moose that had died together with their antlers locked. And probably for, half an hour or so, I just walked around the moose saying, wow, what a sight. And I knew after that I wanted the antlers. So, on the way out, I didn't have anything to get the antlers at that time. So on the way out, I'm thinking, well, I probably should call a warden. And John Winsett, who was the warden in that area at that time, was the one I contacted. And John wanted to know where I saw the moose and wanted to go in with me because he knew that I wanted the antlers. And as I was going in with John, we talked about the moose and what I had found. And when we got there, John walked around the moose and had determined that they had died from natural causes. So now came the process of taking the antlers off the moose, the heads off the moose, and getting them out of the woods. And as we proceeded to do that, we had to carry a canoe in. We carried a canoe in to the location because that was how we were going to transport the heads out. So after that was all done and we started down the mountain, luckily it was all downhill, John asked me what I was going to do with the antlers. I said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with the antlers. I think I got no place at my house for them, and I just don't know at this time what I'm going to do with the antlers. And at that time, John said to me, and would you ever consider an educational exhibit? And I said, yes. I found the antlers in the state of New Hampshire. It would be nice to keep them here. And from that point on, and through John's endeavors with all the different wildlife organizations and fishing game clubs, that's how we got started to put this exhibit together.
Good afternoon. My name is John Winsett, retired conservation officer with the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department. And many years ago, back in 2003, I was fortunate enough to become involved with what is now known as the Forever Locked Project, which was 2 moose that locked antlers in the Guile State Forest back in October of 2003. From that day, I got to meet a guy by the name of Ray Darrigan, who was the hunter and sportsman that found them, and got the opportunity to start something completely different that we had not really sure how it was going to go, but we sat there on a stump in the woods at the time and decided that it was really important to try to do an educational exhibit to bring this to the public so that the whole public could get a chance to see it. I think what's been the most rewarding is that since the project was completed in 2005, which was done through a grassroots effort of all the clubs and organizations and volunteer groups that you see on this trailer, and certainly many, many more. It was an effort that showed that with a lot of cooperation, a project like this could come to fruition. It wasn't the type of project that you would want to reach out and use state funding for. It was a little bit of an outside of the box project. But what it's done since 2005, so now well over a decade, it's provided the opportunity for the public to understand a lot more about moose, how critical habitat issues are for moose, the challenges that they face both back then and today with things like ticks and a changing climate. Many people that would not have otherwise got a chance to see what moose are, what they look like, what they're all about up close and personal. This exhibit has really provided an opportunity for that. We set out with a goal of it being an educational exhibit, and we wanted to bring in a grassroots way as many of the sporting outdoor organizations that we could, and we've been very fortunate to have those partners for all these years. And now we're very excited that, Forever Locked 2.0, if you will, is coming, where it's going to get a facelift. The exhibit is still in excellent condition. We want to continue to recognize all those clubs and organizations that helped to bring this project to where it is today. And I'm very fortunate that the Heritage Foundation has stepped up and expressed an interest in being the leader, taking these moose into the next 10 years.
My name is Steph Kaufman, and I am the chairman of the board of the Wildlife Heritage Foundation of New Hampshire. I am so excited about Forever Locked and merging with them. We are in the perfect position to take them aboard because our missions are similar. We are truly interested in fostering education about moose and the great New Hampshire outdoors. We're happy to teach kids the valuable assets that we have here, which include moose. I think our goal is to try to get the moose out to the public and into the schools, where our children will have the utmost opportunity to see them in their full size and really learn about our fragile, at this point, resource here in New Hampshire.
My name is Melinda Barrow, and my father is a gentleman that found the moose years ago. My involvement with the moose has evolved over time. I have gone to different shows, I've been a treasurer, and now my involvement changes to helping explore and pass on the education and what the mission of our moose is going to be delivering. Other ways to help give back to this mission and get towards the moose is through private donation, and or you can book an event to have the moose come to you, to any kind of event for the day, for an overnight, for a couple day event. You can also stop by the Flying Goose Pub. They have a Forever Locked lager that they brew there, that part of the proceeds go to the moose and our mission. You can find more information about the moose and the story behind it at foreverlocked.org.